Boo! I am live. Hello. Hi. How are you doing today? You okay? Welcome to my channel. My name is Bess JT, and I'm here today to give you some tips about living abroad. Are you a young girl that wants to move abroad? Are you a parent that looking to send your kids abroad? Listen up to this. Some of these few advices that I have. You can take it and make your own informed decisions, but I just wanted to talk about my experience traveling Obido Yibo, traveling to America, and things that I did. I went to America for education at the age of 24. I arrived in America when I was 24 years old. And I would like to go into details about what I did, um, how things were. It was such a struggle. It was massively a struggle. And at 23, I had just one cousin who was very kind. When I arrived in New York, first, I left Nigeria in 1990 and I wanted to go to school. I wanted to go to university. When I moved to London first. And then I stayed in London for a few months, or 7 months. It was very tough, a very naive girl. Based on what I have experienced, if now I'm a mother, and if I have a daughter, I would never allow my daughter to go to America alone by herself. Mm-mm. Unless I can afford to go with her for 6 months and make sure she's okay. And make sure that if she's going to school, that she's settled, have an accommodation, stay with her, advise her to make some friends, and look for Nigerian community. There's nothing wrong with Nigerian community. Nigerian community is good. I think we need to have more confidence in ourselves. Granted, there are people who want to take advantage of you. That's where the good upbringing comes in play. If you brought your kids very well and you raise them to have to love for themselves, they won't fall prey to people who wants to take advantage of them. Unfortunately, a lot of parents, a lot of people that live abroad, some of them fall prey. I almost did. The first year I arrived in America, I was very, very, very focused because I knew what I came to America for. I came to America for education. The first year, oh my God, my confidence was here. My confidence was here, Is the second and third and fourth year that things kind of like when if you don't get what you're looking for, you find your confidence kind of like winning down. For me, things were things became rough, when you don't have your papers. But so these are my advice. If you are a parent, honestly, if you're a parent living, trying to send your kids to America, to UK, to Western country for education, just don't send them to any country because you want them to go to school abroad. I personally think that it's a waste of money. Honestly, I personally think it's a waste of money to send your kids to go abroad to go have an education. But yes, people will still travel, people will still migrate, but unless your daughter or your son or your children are going to do an engineering program, when I mean structural engineering programs, that it's quite not very advanced in Nigeria. They're going to be a medical doctor. You can do medical school in Nigeria. They want to be a specialist after their 4 year or 5 year medical school in Nigeria. They want to go to school in America to become a specialist. Or the program they're trying to do in Nigeria, it's not there, or they couldn't get in. Like one of the reasons why I traveled abroad to America to go to school is because when I was in Nigeria, I couldn't get into the university. Lack of confidence. My parents could not afford to send me to university or to pay the bribes. I took a JAM exam and I passed. I had a cut-off point that was conducive to get into university of science and technology, but I couldn't get in because there was no money to get your way, make your way into the university. So I couldn't. I was highly disappointed. But then I got a job. I got a job as a flight attendant with then Nigeria Airways. I worked for 5 years. I started when I was 19 and I worked for 5 years. So I left Nigeria when I was 24. And before leaving Nigeria, I've already traveled extensively, mostly to African countries. I've traveled to London, I've traveled to New York, I traveled to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So I've been a little bit of exposed. So when I traveled to America, my main focus was to go to university because I've always wanted to go to school because I felt like people who made it. Then I had a relative, a very distant uncle whom I used to go visit. And when I visited him in Port Harcourt in Forces Avenue, I visited his house a couple of times. He'll be playing his piano. One of my uncle was a distant uncle was a senator. We're from the same place. We are almost from the same family lineage, and a very well-known person whom I don't want to mention his name. Well, he's a senator, and I remember visiting him, and he'll be playing piano. And I know the reason why the man seems very polished was because he was educated. And I have a lot of cousins who went to universities, and the way they behave is quite different. And I have some cousins who are doctors. And I wanted to go to school because I felt going to school, being an educated person, going to university is key to improving your lot. It may not seem like that now, but then when I was growing up in the 80s, that's the way it felt. It felt that if I don't go to school, I feel like I was going to die. And since I couldn't go to school in Nigeria, so I was so grateful to God for giving me that opportunity to travel to America to go to school. So when I went to America, my focus was just to go to school, to go to university. And because that was my focus, when I went to university, I went through a lot, man. I went through a lot, ladies. A lot, man. A lot. In fact, I can't even begin to say the details. This is specifically just geared to people who wants to travel to America and you left your family behind. Things that you need to have in mind. Focus, number one. If you left Nigeria, you left your country, focus. If you went to Nigeria, if you left Nigeria because you want to go to school, focus. Focus on the reason why you're there. Because you can easily get carried away. You can easily get carried away. Because I've already worked in Nigeria for 5 years, I think my focus was not to work. Most people go to America, they just want to work and send money home. And for me, working was not my focus. And I wish it was, but I'm glad it wasn't in a way, but I wish it was that I went specifically to go make money. But I think my self-esteem was quite low. And now I'm just recalling about it in terms of I really wanted to go to school. I don't know if my self-esteem was low. I have a very high confidence because I used to be a flight attendant. So I was a bit exposed. So I don't know if my self-esteem was low. But I just wanted to go to school. And so my main focus was education. How am I going to go into school? How? And I did everything I could in terms of work. I was quite fortunate in a way, slightly fortunate, because I came from Nigeria and I've worked as a flight attendant. My interest of working was just to work as a flight attendant. But guess what? If you don't have your paper, it is one of the highly competitive jobs. You understand? And as you can see, I'm not light complacent. There's discrimination. There is. I mean, there is tendency to discriminate, but at the same time, I think if you have confidence and you believe in yourselves, it's easy to get a job in America. So at the time, I wanted to be a flight attendant, but I don't have a paper. I don't have my stay. I got into junior college, and junior college can help you save money when you go into America. Go to junior college. Junior college, that is, you do for 2 years. When you do that, then you can transfer to the main university. So that was what I did. I started with 2-year college, but it was not as easy as I'm saying it, I'm telling you. So when I left London, I went to London first and I spent 7 months in London. And in London, I worked for 7 months. Then in those days, in 1990, you can just get a job in London. You can easily get a job. In fact, you can even get a job in a bar, which is where I got. I got a job in a restaurant. That was how I was able to save money. I saved money, not much, but enough to buy me my flight ticket from London to New York. And the way I got my visa, oh my goodness. I would love to share this with you some other time. This video is just specifically to talk about, if you're living abroad. Oh gosh, I hope I'm not deviating from the topic that I had in mind. But if you are living abroad away from your parents, and you getting some challenges of how to adjust living in that country, most and the first and foremost, please, if what is the reason why you went to UK? What is the reason why you went to America? What is the reason why you went to where you are? The reason is not to do anything. If the reason is to go to school, focus on that school. And ways, I'm telling you, ways will come up that will help you. For me, I got jobs here and there. I registered the first semester. I registered by myself the first semester to this um, college in Chicago called Harold Washington College. That was the first college that I attended. I did my English, did my math, did some of the prerequisites, selectives, um, you know, classes that you need to take. And then I didn't have my high school certificate sent then, so I didn't get it. So I was just kind of taking classes here and there. But I could not afford it anymore. I did one semester. I took about 3 classes. I was able to pay for it. My cousin really helped me. May he so rest in peace. My cousin that allowed me to come and live with him in New York. I mean, in Chicago. I didn't want to go to Chicago. I was so scared of Chicago because when I was living in London, we always heard about Chicago, and they say Chicago, it's a what's it called, mafia. There's gun violence. There's mafias, Al Capone. And I didn't want to go. I was so scared. So when I went to New York and I stayed with a friend for 2 weeks, and after that 2 weeks, she's like, "Oh, you've overstayed. You're welcome." She was quite nice. She kept me in her house for 2 weeks, and then from New York, I didn't have no other choice but to really go to Chicago to meet my cousin, who really helped cushion my arrival into car. Um, I stayed in a hotel for one day and took me into a house, a studio apartment that was furnished. It has everything. It has plates. It has everything. Oh God, I wish I can pay back my uncle. I really wish I could pay him back with his children. I would love to help his children. I don't mind even filing for them. I'm a citizen now. I would love to file for them. So, and that's my prayer, to help my cousin. He helped me, for the first 3 weeks, 3 months. I was there, 1990. The following year, my cousin had a problem that really was really rough for him, and I could not get hold of him. And eventually, he was taken back to Nigeria. And then subsequently, I heard that he passed. But he was very instrumental in cushioning my coming to America for the first few months, I think for like 6 months. He helped me, put me in accommodation. I was really helpful, my dear. If my cousin had not helped me, I don't even know how I would have done it because I couldn't get a job. What parents don't understand is that when people come abroad, it takes a while for the person to adjust. People just don't start making money right off. I did not make money for a long time till I enter university. You okay? Till I enter university. Because America is such that, oh my God, you'd have to know somebody. As you can see, if I had not met my cousin who helped me, introduced me to some Nigerian who owned a nightclub called Equator, where I got my first job. Although the job was not highly paid, it didn't have too many hours. It was just like 3 days a week, but I earned enough. Not enough. I earned some money to make me a little bit happy. It was not enough. It was not. It was like 100 and something pounds, 100 and something dollars, every week. A week, is it? It wasn't much. It was really not much. And so, first thing first, when you go to America, United Kingdom, wherever you are going, it may seem very hard. It may seem a challenge. Focus, focus. Whatever thing that brought you there, unless God put you in a different part and you have that peace of mind that, okay, you should do this. If you went there for work, focus on that job. God will give you a way to get a job. If you went there for education, focus on education because that's the reason why you're there. And the reason why I left Nigeria was to go to school abroad. And I'm going to come to the part whereby I left Nigeria. I should not have left Nigeria if not for what happened. All right. But I felt in some form maybe God also prepared me to leave. So I went to school in America, and in my mind, I've always wanted to go to school. Always. I met some Nigerians. They never advised me, and I don't hold blame onto them. I don't find anyone blame. I don't know what I'm speaking. I don't blame them for not advising me to go to school. I know why I'm there. I i still will not say bad about Nigerians. A lot of people talk bad about Nigerians. I usually don't do that. I want to only focus on the good, the ones that helped. That's the only one that I will focus on. And my cousin helped me. My friend Njideka Wapa, then she was Njideka Wapa, kept me in her house for 2 weeks, and that was very helpful. I was very, 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 very naive. So naive. And Njideka helped me. She gave me a friend of hers that she know in Texas who accommodated me for again for another 2 weeks. And then from there, I was still dodging because I didn't want to go to Chicago where my cousin lived. And I was just dodging, trying to stay in New York. Njideka said, "No, Blessing, I'm sorry, you can't stay with me." I wish she should have allowed me to stay. And I think she could have. But, in those days when you were young, she was just at the same, I think she was even younger than me. She was, I think, 20. I was 23 going to 24. I think she's probably like 23. She was maybe what the same age, maybe, I don't know. So she was just as young. When you're young, you don't think far. You understand? You don't think far. But now I think if I were her, I would have asked her, I would have asked me, come, let's work together and save and pay our rent. And but in those days, people always believe that you cannot trust a Nigerian, you can trust friends. I don't think so. I think in any time, if both people can sit down and say, this is what we should do, this is how we should do it, and this is how we could help each other. I think it's going to help. I think it helps. Just that we don't articulate things that way, but maybe because I'm much older now that I'm thinking that way. But I think she could have said, "Listen, you can stay and let's share the rent." New York, I don't know. But anyway, I left and went to Texas and met one of her friends that she gave me the list. That it's another episode which I'm going to talk about in terms of advising young girls. Young girls, when you're trying to look, if you're single, that will be my next video. That video, oh my God, I hope people learn from it. I'm going to make a next video on that. But focus, determination, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. And if you are in America trying to go to school, please don't lose hope. Focus on the reason why you're there. If you're there to get married, focus on the marriage. I want to get married. I want to have children. That's what I want. Focus on that. I'm coming back again because I don't want this video to be long. I hope you're able to glean something very valuable from this video that is about 18 minutes. Hopefully, my next video will share some of the things that I would like to talk about in terms of if you're single and you're going to America, you want to get married, things you can do. All right, to help you get married, learning from my own mistake. Thank you, and hope to see you on my next video.